The video starts, I just want to make it clear to everybody that in this video, everything I will be showing is real. The person I will be talking about is a real, living, breathing human being and still probably has access to Discord and the internet. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Before we kick things right off, I just want to give a special thanks to the, I think, 73 or maybe it's 81. I don't know how many subscribers I have. Thank you guys for that. And sorry for the more darker tone intro, but I'm going to explain why that's like that in a second. So in July of 2024, I made and edited and posted a YouTube video talking about people that I caught on Discord with predatory behavior. But YouTube took the video down for endangerment of children. Now I have nothing to prove that I ever actually posted this video. I deleted all the files of the video, everything, like every decal, everything. But and I lost the login to the account that I used to catch these sick people. But recently I cracked the login. So now I have access to all these people that I already made a video about in their screenshots, but one of them always stood out the most to me, which was PURPLEFLOWER, and he was the sickest, most cautious, and disgusting piece of filth I think I've ever talked to. So this whole video is going to be dedicated about you, PURPLEFLOWER, if you ever see this. So with that out of the way, let's get right into these insane screenshots. As you can see, the conversation starts off pretty strongly with the hi, are you male, female? I'll let you figure that out while we talk, which I thought was a little bit odd to be even saying that in the first place, but whatevs. Then I ask, how old are you? And he replies, 29, which all in itself sounds pretty bad to be 29 and on Discord. I'm not, like, for some people that sounds bad, I'm not judging. I mean, I'll probably use Discord until I'm like 84, so sorry for the bad crop. But then I say, I clearly state, I'm 14 lol, is that too low for you? Then this monster says, it's fine by me. Is that okay with you? If you guys know a single lick of the law with this type of stuff, you know that a 14-year-old cannot give consent. And asking a 14-year-old, oh, are you okay with their age gap? And they say yes, that literally means jack shit. Like, that means nothing. Absolutely nothing, especially if you're the adult. Then I replied, oh, I don't mind. And I asked, what are you looking for? He says, friends or more. You? And then I just replied, I'm looking more than just friends. And they said, you want to be in a relationship? I said, yeah, sure. What do you want in a relationship? He says, let's to get to, oh my God, cut that out. He says, let's get to know each other first, then we will talk about it. Then I asked what he did for a living. He just very mysteriously and ominously just said grocery store. I mean, I don't know what his issue is, but you know, just some more stuff. I said, oh, that's fine. I can't work yet, sadly. Then he asked me where I'm from. I said Vermont, which is a lie. I'm not from fucking Vermont. And then he replies, I'm from Ohio. Shut up before anyone says anything. Then I said I've been there before, which legitimately isn't a lie. I actually have been there before. And he just oddly asked me if I have any siblings, and I just said no, I'm an only child. I don't want to bore you guys with these screenshots, but some of it's worth for the build up, so just stay with me, please. This is a little bit more in the future. I asked if I'm going to know if he's a male or female soon. He says, yeah, but I think you'll figure it out before I tell you. I asked, what does that mean? And he says, I'm sure you'll get it before I say my gender. And I, again, asked, what does that mean? Because I genuinely did not know what the fuck that meant. And then you just asked, have you dated anyone older than you before? Now, I have multiple reasons why I hated talking to this fucker, but one of them was that I couldn't get any information out of him if I sat him down, tied him up, and held a Nerf gun at his head. I couldn't get any information out of this guy. Anyways, back to the screenshot. I said, no, I only dated one guy a year ago. He says, cool. I say, have you dated anyone before? He said he has, which is honestly surprising. Then I asked, are you dating anyone right now? And he says, single, you. So I really have zero proof that he is single. I don't know if he's married. I don't know if he's lying. So I think we're just going to have to take his word on it. As much as I don't want to, I think that's what we're going to have to do. Then after that, I said, yeah, I'm single. Then I asked if I could see a picture of what he looks like, so I have at least a picture of him. And he just flat out says, "Oh, once we get to know each other more." This is like strike one of me. All right, this guy's way too cautious because number one, he won't tell me which grocery store he works at. Number two, he even debated on telling me his gender. And now number three, he won't even show me what he looks like. I don't have an issue. I get it. Some people have their comfort zones, but then again, this guy is talking to whom he thinks is a 14-year-old female. So yeah. Then me being impatient, I said, "How long will that take, lol? Do you ever want to call?" He says, "Yeah, we can call one day, and depends how long we talk." This is just more proof of this guy being way too cautious. And that can be like, a sign that maybe he's done this before, maybe he hasn't. I'm not too sure. Then I said, "Oh, okay. What do you want to talk about then?" Then he says, "Let's ask each other questions." I said, "Okay, you first." Then he asked me if I'm a dog or cat person. This is personal. I fucking love cats. So everything I said in the screenshot is true. Then he says he loves dogs. I'm like, "Oh, wow." I said, "Would you ever come to visit me in Vermont?" He says, "It's possible. Why do you ask?" I said, "Because it would be so much fun." He said, "Hang out and stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah, just hang out and stuff. Unless if there's more you would want to do." He says, "You got a dirty mind, I can see." You. Just you. No, nothing else. Just you. Then I said, "Only if you do." And he says, "I do." And I said, "Oh, really?" Also, sorry if I feel like I'm flying through these screenshots because I sort of am because this conversation lasted like 2, 3 weeks, maybe even less. Maybe I'm just making that up. I don't know. He says, "Yeah." I said, "What are some things you would want to do if we hang out?" Trying to get some more information of what this sick fuck wants. And then he says, "Well, I know the mall for sure." And I said, "Oh, okay, I love the mall." He says, "Cool. What else?" I said, "Anything you want to do." Then he says, "Oh," I said, "We could cuddle." He says, "True." I said, "Would you be up for that?" He says, "To cuddle you?" Oh, to cuddle? In all seriousness, he asks to cuddle you. All right, enough with the boring shit. I'm just gonna get straight into where it gets wicked, hella fast. If you're watching this on your TV with your family for some reason, please beware. We got back on the dirty minded topic somehow. And then I said, "I don't know if I've ever really been dirty minded like that or anything." Then he asks, "So you never play with your before?" Before we continue, I just want to say this is kind of where things are going to pick up really fast. Then I said, "No, not really. No one ever told me how to." And he says, "I can teach you if you want after we get to know each other better." I said, "Oh, okay. I'm fine with that." He says, "Well, I do want you to get comfortable with me. Are you white or black?" Just so random. Like, why that question after that question? Like, what is going through this guy's head? I said Asian, and he just said, "Cool." I'm gonna fast forward a lot now. This is when I said I had to go, but in reality, I was just taking a break from talking to this sicko. Then I texted him back. I said, "Hey." He said, "Hey." I said, "Hi." He said, "Hey." I said, "How was it when I was gone?" He said, "Okay, but did you miss me?" I said, "Did you miss me?" He said, "Yes." And I said, "Oh." We're gonna fast forward to a question I asked him that would decide his fate in all of this. Although I think his fate was sealed after he made that comment about the special area where the sun doesn't shine. But this is I'm gonna tell you guys this is very disturbing what he says. Just for context, we were talking about favorite TV shows, and I did say SpongeBob. Then I asked him what his was. He says, "Honestly, I don't know. Looking for a new one." I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Yeah, your turn." I asked, "Have you ever been with a younger girl before?" He said, "Yes, I have." I said, "How young?" "I'm just wondering because I'm younger." He says, "Just around your age." Um, I gotta say, if you guys could see my face while reading that specific screenshot, you would see utter disappointment and despair coming from my face. This is just another screenshot that I pulled out my ass showing how cautious this guy was. I had to ask him to give me a description of what he looked like. A description. If any of you guys know anyone that lives in Ohio that works at a grocery store with that description, please check his Discord. Make sure it's not Purple Flower for the love of God. Before I go any further with any other screenshots, I need to explain something so the screenshots make sense to everybody. I had my friend also make an alt Discord account when he found out I was talking to this Purple Flower guy. Um, and the account was also proposing to be a underage girl on Discord. And Purple Flower was interested in talking to said friend, and said friend's username on Discord is Luna. Obviously, he's a guy, not a real girl. Obviously, he's not an underage female either. But it is important to know that for the story because I will mention Luna multiple times in these screenshots. Maybe multiple wasn't the right word, but anyways, this is when I confronted him and I said every conversation is screenshotted and saved on my PC. You can block me, but you're getting exposed on the internet either way. So this is not just something that's gonna go away. I'm giving you the chance to explain yourself why you were talking to a 14-year-old on the internet. Luna is also in on the sketch, so don't even think about blocking that account either. Like I said, I have all the evidence I need to expose you. Explain. This is him talking now. Well, at least I kept my guard up and everything. I knew something up anyway. Sorry, this guy's English isn't the best. But I can say it was good talking to you as well. Also, a good thing I didn't join the server. And by the way, if he was trying to expose me, you have another thing coming. Since I am being more careful. I don't know. I didn't know that you was dumb. Then after that, he just blocked me. Just like that. Nothing else. Also, the server comment. Yes, I made a server with a bunch of my friends that knew I was doing this. That were also pretending to be underage females to see if this guy would be like, "Oh my god, this is a dream come true." He never joined the server because he was being too cautious, which I think is so weird. And honestly, again, like I said, I have no proof. Well, I never said that, but I have no proof that this guy actually got with a younger girl before. He could have been talking about when he was younger, but he didn't specify, so that's his fault. But like I said, I don't have any proof proving that he did that. I'm just gonna take his word on it though, because everything he said to me sounds kind of true up until this point. I still just can't believe this guy had the audacity to say that I was dumb after conversating to whom he thought was a 14-year-old girl on Discord at the age of 29, probably living in his mom's basement. That's another thing I wanted to ask if I could go back in time and re-ask. I'd ask where he lives, if he lives in his mom's basement or if he lives by himself. Sorry for the stuttering. I have a real bad stuttering issue. I hope you guys don't mind that. But anyways, I definitely see him living in like a scummy 1-star like apartment with like pizza boxes, dishes, 2 liter of cokes everywhere. Like that's the type of place I see him living in, honest to God. But I mean, I said all I wanted to say. I proved all my points. Um I covered everything I actually wanted to cover. So if you guys are watching up to this point, thank you for watching. And until I see you guys in the next one, peace out.